Resident Evil Retribution is a zombie horror movie sequel. So, the fifth installment of Resident Evil, and we see ourselves starting in this underwater facility, because at the end of number 4, when you think that they just rescued everybody on the boat, well, turns out Umbrella was right around the corner, and they snag her up, and she's now in this hologram training facility, which is basically what Umbrella was using to do data tests on what would happen if there was an outbreak so they could sell a cure. Shenanigans. And we get some more characters in this movie. Fancy that. From Ada and Leon, we finally get 2 of some of the most important characters in the franchise. And at this point, we've been introduced to all the main characters, basically, of the video game Resident Evil. So yeah, basically Leon's with his little team coming down from the surface, and Ada just helped Alice escape. Now they got a rendezvous, make their way through a whole bunch of holograms and biohazards, and make their way to the surface and escape, where now they're teaming up with Wesker. Yay! And that's about it. That's just a super short story. So my review of Resident Evil Retribution. And man, geesh willikers, guys. So this one's better than the 4th one, but we just suffer from two things we just suffer from. This franchise is just failing out horribly. For one, their casting on Leon Kennedy was just absolutely horrible, as it was for Chris and Claire. This time, there's no backstory to how Jill, who just shows up out of nowhere, since she hasn't been in since the 2nd movie, and she has the thing on her chest, but she's not teamed up with Wesker, which didn't make no sense. She's teamed up with the Red Queen, who is also back. And the other thing it suffers from is insanely shitty writing. Bad casting and shitty writing is just the blueprint for these movies. And even though I liked number 3, the writing wasn't that good. Honestly, that's when these movies start going downhill. And I thought number 3 was pretty good, but writing-wise, you never get a scenario where they're just in a building looking for clues, and it's never nothing like the video game, and the closest we ever got to that was the 2nd movie. So, I don't know. Besides that, it's just the same old. Yeah, this had a little better CGI, but the CGI, it's just still not good. It's just the writing shit that's the main takeaway. They introduce Leon finally, and he's one of the most popular characters of the franchise, and he's just super underwhelming. He does nothing badass. He's barely doing anything. I like the casting on Ada though, but once again, she really doesn't do nothing, because these movies all just revolve around Alice, and you don't get to see any of your favorite characters shine. Sad. Now, yeah, they didn't even really introduce any new biohazards in this one. Basically just revamped CGI on old classics, so there wasn't really nothing with that. And just, yeah, the story shit, man. Even if it's not a bad movie, it's not a good movie. I'm just, man, very disappointed. This, and with all that, I do like to find one plus takeaway from all the movies I watched. And the good thing about this one was the beginning was pretty good, but yeah, besides that, not a fan of where these movies went, man. Just not at all. So, my recommendation for Resident Evil Retribution is I just once again would not recommend this, just like the last one. And that's just because these movies just aren't it for me, and me being such a Resident Evil fan, they're just super lackluster. And from somebody who had never seen Resident Evil, like an example, you would see Leon Kennedy and have absolutely no idea that he's like one of the most badass fictional characters, because just the writing is so absolutely dog shit. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good, and there's so much spotlight on Alice. Like, they really honestly shouldn't even have added those characters, but yeah, not recommended.